Notice Jesus says, after talking about all the you knows, you know this stuff, you know that, you know the overlords, but he says, yet it shall not be so among you, but whoever desires to become great, notice that word, whoever desires to become great, that's the Greek word mega, among you, let him be your servant. Here's the issue. Greatness for the believer has to be completely redefined. Completely redefined. Because it again comes back to the fact of the will behind the power that you do have and what's going to happen with it. It has to be redefined so that what is great in your mind, what is great in your heart, is completely different than what it was before you became a believer. And for that point, even as a believer, greater than it was maybe even a year or two ago in the growing process. Everyone who is a Christian is at some point going through some kind of process that is meant to mature you, that is meant to help you take forward steps in faith. But you all know there are steps that you have to will and decide to take. They're not going to happen on their own. You see, for the Christian, when we look at, again, that word of serving, and we go back to those original examples I talked about, the waiter in the restaurant, the teller at the bank. For the world, servers is a position. For Christians, it's not a position. It's a mindset. And this is the thing that is so drastically and radically different, is that now you and I have the opportunity to take servanthood as a mindset and take it into whatever role you play in the hierarchy. President of the bank, servant president of the bank. Trash man, servant trash man. Teacher, servant teacher. Band director, servant band director. Pastor, servant pastor. Shoe salesman, servant shoe salesman. Busboy, servant busboy. Have you ever ran into a proud busboy or like a proud person who was at the bottom? It's odd, but it happens a lot. I remember this specific thing in my life. I was maybe the first year after I became a Christian, I was really zealous for the Lord, and I was volunteering at this homeless shelter, and to this day, this always stuck with me. We were helping the guys in this. It was a men's shelter. We were helping these guys get ready for bed. So they would take showers. We would hand them towels, take their personal belongings. Their personal belongings all had to be locked up in a room because they would steal from each other at night. If not, like they would go to bed in this giant room with tons of cots, beds and everything, and like you just knew that whatever went in there, who knows, And I still remember some of these guys would hand us their stuff and they would be like, "Thank you so much for serving us. We've got nothing." And other guys would be like, "Just take my box. Give me my towel." And it was just like, you can't make sense of it. And here's the thing, you can't place the people in, these are the servants, because they're not. Some of them made the decision. That's what the issue is. You have to be to the point where you make a decision. Okay, wherever you have me, Lord, wherever you have me, let me be a servant there. Boy, you get that straight in your mind, you renew that vow to the Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord will use you. The Lord will use you. You don't get that straight, you constantly fight against that, you and Jesus are not going to be working together very well. That's not going to be a good working relationship with Jesus.